Okay, I will, you won't, it's pointing this way. So I just want to welcome you to the first FYI. For your information, Norwood, we have the community policing officer, Dwayne Thompson here, and he's going to talk about what we can do to make ourselves safer. And then after about 30 minutes, I'm going to go into some tips and tricks on how to use Nextdoor a little bit more efficiently and how you can invite people and stuff like that. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Thompson and let him take it over.
Good evening. I want to make sure she gets one of these papers from me.
Okay.
Just want to say thank you and welcome for having us at this first FYI, which is for your information, Norwood community. And as Jay said, we want to talk about some safety tips and things of that nature. So what we want to talk about today is what can we do or what can you do to help the Birmingham Police Department, help your neighborhood, help your community to be a much better, much safer place. We have a few bullet points, a few tips that may be, and one of the first ones is to be a good witness. So when you talk about being a good witness, what is a good witness? Well, when you talk about legally going to court, you always want to know the who, what, where, whens, and whys, and how. So being a good witness is just being that. When you call 911, when the police comes into your neighborhood, when you're giving information, we want to make sure that we give them as much information as possible. Who the person was, who was attacking who was the aggressor, what color clothing they have on, which way did they walk when they left the scene, what did they leave in, things of that nature. What was said, what was yelled out, what were words that were used, just as much information as you can give. So then therefore, if the officer encounters the person somewhere around the corner, somewhere around the block, he will have an eyewitness, although he wasn't there, he have an eyewitness account as to what went on, to even know if the person that he's encountered is telling the truth or trying to change the story. If you're sitting on your porch and you're like, hey, no officer, the guy in the black jacket with the gray pants was arguing with the guy in the blue jacket. The guy in the blue jacket tried to walk away. The guy in the black jacket decided he was going to grab him from the back and pull him down. The guy in the black jacket decided to get up and run, and then the guy in the blue jacket decided he wanted to fight. So if he's encountered one of them, he talks to them about what went on, he has an idea, and almost as if he were there. So you're an extension. You're an extension of the officer, you're an extension of the person that is patrolling your community, and you give him an upper hand on trying to bring resolve to issues in your community. Be a good witness. You call the police and say, hey, we need you to come to this house on my next block because they're doing something over there. Okay? They're doing something. What do you see them doing? What time of the day are they doing it? Who's doing it? How many people are hanging out? Is there a car that's steadily coming? What type of car it is? Have you got an idea of what the place is? Do you have a partial on the place? These are some of the things that you can write down, jot down. We're not saying put yourself in harm's way. What we are saying is be vigilant and be observant and make sure that you are taking down as much information so when you report it, the person who is responding to the report, even the caller, the call taker, 911 operators, the more information you give them, the more they can give out to the officers. A lot of times people don't want the officer to come to their house. A lot of times people don't want them to know. But if you give the call taker the information, and you give them enough information when the officer receives it, and you tell the call taker, hey, I don't want to talk, I don't want anybody to come, I just want you to have this information so hopefully he can catch the person who was doing it. You do not have to give your name, you do not have to give your address. And as we talk about some of our neighborhood meetings, I'll be giving out my phone number here late before I leave so that if you have a problem, and you have a problem telling something, and you don't want to call because you're in fear and you think that there may be some sort of retaliation, send me the information. Give me the information, we'll make sure that we get it to the officer and we can handle it that way, okay? So then we have be as detailed as possible. Also be aware and be observant. All be in your surroundings. When you talk about safety tips, if you just take time out to take time out, it may save your life to somebody else. You know, stop being such a rush. When you pull up to the house, you know, be mindful before you get out. Don't just jump out. Stop, pull in front of your house. Take a look. Your house has bushes, or it has an alleyway that the light's not on, or whatever. See if you see something glowing. See if you see something in the alley. Don't just always be in a rush, always trying to run out and jump. Oh, I gotta go. Oh, I gotta, you know, take your time. Pull up. Nobody's right here in front of your house. Who's gonna tell you about sitting in front of your door? So you stop, you pull up in front of your door. Take your breather, gather your things. Another thing I tell people is, before you get out the car, get the door key in your hand. Don't get to the door and fumble with the door key. Get the keys in your hand in the car. You know which one that's gonna take to unlock the door. Take time out to be observant and to be just aware of what's going on around you. How many people are on the corner? Who's walking? The other night I was walking, and I was walking behind a young lady, and I ended up having to tell her when we stopped at the same place what a great job she did. Because I got out the car and I was walking behind her. Now, of course, I didn't mean her no harm, but I was much larger than she was. She was on the phone, so she was doing the right thing by keeping whoever on the phone with her. You know, but when it just got to be just a little bit too much in her mind, I could tell she was feeling this anxiety. She just stopped. She stopped, she stood on the phone, and she let me get in front of her. So she figured, you know, I guess if something's gonna happen, you're gonna have to do it from in front of me. I'm not gonna let him grab me from behind because he's such a larger fella. So when we got to the place, we was going to the same place, we was just both walking from a parking spot. I commended her, I said, hey, as a young lady, you did a wonderful job. You realized somebody was behind you, whether it was a threat or not. You took out time to keep the person on the phone. I said, then you allowed me to get in front of you, so if I was gonna do anything to you, I would have to turn around and become a threat and you not be surprised with the element of surprise by me grabbing you from behind. And we laughed about it. She's like, you know what? It is what I was doing. I said, yeah. I said, well, I'm a crime prevention officer. You would be someone I would have to come in and talk to other ladies about making the exact perfect. That was a picture perfect way of making sure if someone's going to be a threat to you, that you allow them to get in front of you and not take you by surprise. So always be aware of your surroundings, knowing what's behind you. So now, one other thing I want to talk about is being a critical thinker. What's a critical thinker? Thinking things through. Looking at a situation and thinking about all the possibilities. Looking at a situation and thinking it from beginning to end. Okay, if I get out here and I have all these guys, whatever, hanging on the corner. But if I get out here and these guys do need to do me something, is it really good for me to get out here? Well, how about I'll take a ride and just keep going. If I don't have to be home right this minute, go by a neighbor, go by a friend. Take a ride, come around the block. Or wait, wait until it breaks up or whatever it is. But thinking your way all the way through, not being fearful, but just being vigilant about the thought process of what may or what could, and putting yourself in a situation of thinking, hey, if I do this, then this may happen. If I do this, do I really have to do? A lot of times we do things sporadically, and when we don't really have to do them, we do them, but do you really have to do it right then? Do I have to get out right now? Do I have to, take the trash out at this time? Do I have to, do it by myself? Can I wait for somebody else to get home? Can I call somebody? Where are my nephews? Where's my son? Just involving other people, allowing other people to get involved. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is don't create opportunities to become a victim. Well, how would I do that? Allowing people to know too much about it, seeing too much. They talk about during Christmas time, breaking down your boxes for your television. In fact, putting them in your car, carrying them off to a big dumpster somewhere else. Leaving your car windows, your car doors unlocked. We have a major problem with. In the summertime, people leave the car running because they want the air to stay running. In the wintertime, they leave the car running because they need the heat, heat running. If that's what you're going to do, purchase your second key. Make sure that you can lock the doors. Make sure that the car can be locked up and you don't leave it on a jump out. Most crimes, when it comes to small crimes of that nature, there are crimes of opportunity. It is okay, I think I'll take this chance. Here's this opportunity. So I think a lot of times when you look at Bay car, or when people used, you know, they'll show you just bait card. A lot of them guys, when they go in there, they're like, you know what, man, this probably a bait card. But yet they still do it because why? It creates the opportunity. They see something there, they see the car running, and in their mind, ooh, he just took the guy to jail with this car. This car here all alone, all by itself. Crime of opportunity. Leaving your purse on the seat. Letting somebody watch you get out your car, put your purse in the trunk when you go somewhere. On the floorboard. Taking your phone down, but leaving the cord to the phone where people can see it running to the seat. These are things you may not think about, but unplug the cord. Unplug the cord to the phone. Nobody's using it. Put it up. The laptop. You may have the laptop, but don't leave the laptop bag in there. Because I'm going to take a 50-50 chance. You might have a laptop in there. So now you lost a $300 back window for somebody to grab a $15 bag because you left it on the seat and they thought you might have had something in there. All right? So we want to talk about lighted environment, well-lighted environments. Alleyways, back doors, front porches, just creating areas. You know, a lot of people use floodlights, things of that nature, but there's a lot of lights now that are solar. You have somebody put up that you don't have to run new wires and stuff like that. It's what I call user-friendly lights. You know, a lot of people can't afford to have an electrician to come out and put stuff up. My mom had some around her house. You know, you put batteries in it, solar power, and some you can even stick up where you put one screw in. Lights are well enough at night. You know, they come on once it does dark. They come on, lights the corner of her house. Got one right next to the door. You know, so when she comes in, you can see on the porch. There's different things like that because people, you know, do not like to really be around or break in places where everybody can see. They don't really want to be identified. They're really trying to go to jail. But the more you can do, we call it in our field, deter. Deter. Nothing is 100%, you know, guaranteed. But do as much in your power to deter. You know, if you get out of car, I'll tell you sometime. If you get out of car, you feel some kind of way, and you know you by yourself, you want to create you some time, they don't know. You act like your neighbor's on the porch. Hey, Susan, how you doing? Yeah, They don't know Susan not on the porch. They think maybe you're talking to Susan, but it'll create time for you. So make sure that you have the ability to always do something different and make yourself safe. Don't create things and be in well-lighted environments. Now, the other thing is, be vocal. Talk about the things you see. Talk about stuff. Don't be quiet. Criminals and people who do things like that, they feed on people not saying anything. It's just like bullies. Bullies, they say what they say and they bully you because they want you to be in fear of saying something. Because you just might talk to the right person. You just might say something to the person who actually knows them. You know, so it's a form of bullying. It's bullying in your own neighborhood, in your own house. Now you have a house that you bought, you purchased, you work hard to have, but you're gonna allow them to get you to the point where all you wanna do is get home and stay inside. You can't enjoy your front porch, you don't wanna enjoy your front yard. All you do is run in your car, run in your house, run out your house, run in your car. Why? Because the criminals are bullying people and making them feel like they're the greater force when if we get together. I will believe this that there's always more good people than there are bad. We just allow the bad to take the center stage. Because we won't galvanize and come together. We won't collectively talk about what's going on. Hey, I was down there the other day, these guys wanted, you know what I seen them saying, I mean to talk about the one, yeah, that guy that came up. That's Lou's nephew, but that's somebody's brother, you know, and that's what happens with that. So we want to do things like this, to be vocal and be vigilant. Be vigilant, not be a vigilante, be vigilant. Go ahead. If something bothers you, go at it. When I say go at it, get as much information as you can. Find out as much about it as you can. Ride the neighborhood, walk the neighborhood, you know, ride your bike around the neighborhood. Can't nobody stop you from riding your car if you ride around the neighborhood. First day you get a time, second day you get a color, third day, you find out they got tattoo, whatever it is, while you collecting the information, and then when you get all the information that you need, you turn it over to the proper people. What you're visioning, you're only one. Why? Because our neighborhoods and our homes and our communities have to become important to us. Because we're vigilant about anything that's important to us. How do I know? We work jobs, we can be tired the night before, whatever it is, we want that paycheck, we're gonna wake up the next morning. And we're gonna drag ourselves in there because we're vigilant about making sure we get what we were supposed to get, right? And so our neighborhoods and all those areas have to become that important to us. And somewhere down the line, we lost that importance in our community. It becomes just my thing on my stuff, thing on my. But here's the deal. If you keep just sticking to yours and not being vigilant and not talking about what you know that's going on, eventually the burglar, the car thief, the people that's causing havoc gonna run out of space, and all of a sudden they're gonna be in your space. And then you're gonna want everybody to be speaking and talking about what you should have been speaking and talking about. So we don't want it to come that way. Also, I told you already, be vigilant, be mobile, move around, don't be locked in, walk your neighborhood, get to know your neighborhood, see who belongs who, see who belongs where. Even when you ride in your neighborhood, start observing what cars you see every day. You know, find out what cars and where they go, where they generally park. So when you see that red car scooting up the street, blowing past the stop sign, you're like, oh, officer, listen. This guy blows the stop sign every day around this time. But let me tell you something. I was riding the other day. He blows this stop sign, but he lives 3 blocks over. How do I know every day I pass at 4 o'clock that car's parked right there in front of that house? Some people call it nosy. I call it being vigilant. I call it being observant. I call it being informative, right? And so and I know this has a lot to do with people all the time. Don't be afraid. And when I say don't be afraid, I'm not saying go out there and confront people, but don't be afraid to do what's right. Don't be afraid to get the information. Don't be afraid to call and turn in information. Don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And don't be afraid to just to be neighborly and to get everybody and talk to your neighbors. All right? And last but not least, we're gonna talk about being attendance. You know, when they have things of this nature, when you have video chat, when you have video streaming, when you have, when the police hold meetings, when you have neighborhood meetings, you know, people always have something to say about stuff that they didn't attend. It's just like voting, you know, you always got something to say about who's in office. And then when you ask somebody when last time you voted, well, you see, and you know, and I would have, with the rain in Spain came mainly down, all that happens, but you got so much to say. So no, we want you to do all the things I talked about before, but they're no good if you're not in attendance. When you don't show up, when you don't, because no matter what people think, there's strength in numbers. If you have a neighborhood and you have 3 people, the same 3 people making noise, somebody may pay some attention to them. But I guarantee you, you bring 20 folks, 15 folks, 30 folks, all saying the same thing, in front of the mayor, the city council, the police chief, you know what I'm saying? Any one of you, they're gonna stop it. Why? Because somewhere online, your community was important enough for these people to get together, and you had a good to galvanize, first of all, voters. Right? If people, they realize they're gonna vote for them or not for them, right? But then also you're gonna have people, they're gonna say, well, something really must be going on. It's not just one person going out their ideas or their ideology, but this is a bunch of people, and something's gotta be going on there. Let's bring them to the table. Let's see what we can do to get this done, because this has become a problem, because it's affecting more than one person, more than one house, more than one household. All right, so I'll do this for those who are watching. My number is 254-2860. 254-2860. My name is Dwayne Thompson. I'm CPO for North Precinct. So CPO, Crime Prevention Officer for North Precinct. My name is Dwayne Thompson. And my number is 254-2860. For those who use email, it's Dwayne.Thompson
But they can also get you on Nextdoor, right?
They can.
They,
It's gonna be Birmingham, spell all the way out. Birmingham, AL.gov. Or, as we move into the next part of this, Nextdoor. And as the Bible person said, what is Nextdoor? Nextdoor is an application that helps us with community. So. Nextdoor. So we're gonna talk about, Jay's gonna talk about what Nextdoor is. Nextdoor is an application that's on your computer, on your phone, that utilizes and it allows community and community people to come together, share information of things that are going on in the neighborhood, events, trouble spots, burglaries, whatever going on in the neighborhood. And it can cause you to speak to one neighborhood or all 16 of our neighborhoods at one time. And any message that you leave comes back to me directly. So it comes straight to my phone. I get the information immediately. We can respond to it. I have somebody respond to it. So Jay's gonna talk about that.
that's only if we put it in crime and prevention, right? That's when you see it.
Well, I get all of it. I get all messages for, I get it directly to put in crime and prevention. But I am a member of Nextdoor for the North area, so all 16 will come, but my page, the Birmingham City, the police page, has every community.
Okay.
So I get information from East, West, South, it all comes on my phone, but directly, if you put in crime or crime bench or hit my name directly, it comes to me as a message to me.
Okay.
So I can see it all.
And then if you private message you, it'll go right to you.
Yeah, if you private message, it goes directly to me.
And nobody else can see it.
Nobody else can see that, yeah.
Okay.
So I get to see everything that goes on Nextdoor.
Well, I'm sorry.
And then I get to see, the private message and the private stuff, but the good part about it, if I need to give you a message or your neighborhood a message, I can do that neighborhood specifically. I can do you specifically, or I can touch all the communities at one time. It's a great thing when you have people, you really need to look into it. Jay's gonna give you some information on it. Thank you again for having me, we appreciate it. And for those who are streaming, please share this. Please tell your friends, please help them to watch it. I think we have some great tips. I'm excited about this. It was the first FYI. We look forward to you doing some more. And hopefully, this can be the roadmap for other communities to come together and do these sessions called FYI. I'll be sharing on next to tomorrow with a great time we had. And hopefully people will try this in other neighborhoods. So we appreciate you. And we thank you. And we thank you for the things that you've done and the information that we shared on tonight. Y'all have a great night, and I'm gonna leave some of these for people to pick up, and you'll have them there, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, thank you for coming. Okay, main thing that I want to talk to about now Nextdoor is if you have it on your phone, you'll have a little plus sign down here. That means, and if you click on that, you can make a post. And that means you can, and then it'll pop up and you can make a private message. Private message, you can search anybody in your neighborhood. We have over 270 something people in Norwood Nextdoor. I've gotten about 130 of those people on Nextdoor. And the way you can invite people is there's a little plus sign right here. It says invite. That'll let you get to send 5 postcards for free. So they will actually get a postcard in the mail. And then you can click on that and it'll pop up and it'll give you can put their address, or what you can do is it'll give you a map and you can just click on the map of the people that you want to send it to. So you don't know your friend's address, but she lives 3 doors down from you. And then you can click on that. Or you can text them. That's what I usually do. I go to people's houses, or I meet them at a neighborhood meeting, and I'm like, oh, hey, are you on Nextdoor? Or they're like, I wish somebody would tell us more about, a playground or events happening, or when the city is going to pick up trash and brush, or what's going on in the neighborhood. I heard some shots, or I heard some loud noises. Did anybody else hear that? So So if you're interested in getting connected, you can do that. There's also down at the bottom, I'm mainly doing phone. Now there's on your computer, these are in a little bit different areas, but there's a home button and there's some other buttons down here, but you can set up your settings so you don't get everything that is posted the minute it posts. You can have a daily digest where you'll only see the post once a day, or a weekly digest, so you'll only see posts weekly. But when you get those emails, you have to scroll to the bottom because the first top, because of this is a free application, they advertise and they put, what houses are being sold in your neighborhood, who's giving away free stuff, just like on Facebook. But then if you scroll to the very bottom, then it'll pop up and it'll say the neighborhood posts, and you can just scroll all the way down so you don't have to look at all those ads. So you want to make sure that you change your post to either daily or weekly. You can also make sure you can go to neighbors. There's the home button, it'll pop up, and I believe it, and then it'll give you a list of things, and you can go neighbors, and then when you click on the neighbors, it'll pop up, and you can look at the maps, and there's a little icon that says maps. You can say, like, we are part of Southside and Forest Park. You can say, I don't want to see those people. I just want to see Norwood. I don't want to see Druid Hills. I don't want to see what they post. I don't want to see what, Collegeville posts. I just want to see what Norwood posts. And so you can go in there and set it for just Norwood. And if you're posting something, you can say, I just want to post it for my neighborhood. And that's all I want to see it. Now, if you post something that goes out to all of these other neighborhoods, surrounding neighborhoods, they can answer you. But if you just post it to Norwood, only Norwood will see you. Let's see, what else? The big thing is invites. We need to get, there's some neighborhoods that have 2,000 people on Nextdoor. We're in the north side, we have probably the most compared to others. But we need everybody to know what's going on, because the only way we can improve is by knowing each other. I went into this gentleman's house the other day. He got one of these banners had fallen off the thing, off of the pole, and he had collected it, and I went into his house and he showed me what they used to have in the 80s. It was a little post, it was a card, and everybody had written their names and phone numbers and where they lived, and he still had it from the 80s. And he said a lot of people don't live here anymore, or they passed away. But this is a modern version of that, because like if you do go into neighbors and you click on map, and you say, I don't remember what her name was, but I sure know he or she lived 3 doors down, or they lived on the boulevard. You can pull that up and it'll show you, and you know that they're on Nextdoor, so then you can pull it up and click on it, and then you can send them a private message and say, I saw somebody going around your house the other day. I just want to let you know, So invites, and then changing your daily digest, changing your weekly digest, and then also no one can be kicked off of Nextdoor unless they do something that Nextdoor kicks you off for. So don't think, oh, well, they're blocking my post or something like that. Now, I can mute somebody if I didn't want to hear them anymore. If I was like, I don't want to listen to that, whatever. Like me, I post a lot, but I post a lot of stuff that goes on in Norwood. If you don't want to hear me anymore, just go into neighbors and hit mute. Find me and say, mute this person. Or when the post comes up, there's a little V right there. You click on that and say, mute this person. I don't want to hear them anymore. Or you can just say, and then you can go back later and say, okay, I want to listen to that person again. So So you can mute somebody for yourself, but not for the whole neighborhood. That's about all I have on Nextdoor. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with me. I'm on Nextdoor, and I hope you show up at our next neighborhood meeting. And like Mr. Thompson said, I believe that it's 1% of the population that is doing all the bad stuff. And it makes all the rest of us fear or just miserable. So if we can make sure that they feel miserable, you know, and they are the ones that are like, I am not going to Norwood, because those people just will call the police on you, you know, because I was out there, you know, we were screaming and hollering and I was beating on somebody's car and they called the police on me. Well, yeah, you know, we just, one thing Annetta Nunn, Captain Nunn, said a long time ago that always got me, she said a lot of times criminals will come into your neighborhood and they will take a grocery cart and they'll put some stuff in it and they'll push it right down the center of your street. If nobody calls and says, there's this person pushing a grocery cart with a television in it down my street. If nobody calls, they're like, nobody's gonna call, I'm gonna come back, and then they start hitting each house. And so that's one thing, you know, make sure you call, or you can post it to Norwood, Nextdoor, but not just posting it here, saying, oh, I saw something strange, call the police. I saw something strange, see something, say something, you know. And that's about it, and that's the first FYI. Thank you for attending, and we'll hopefully, I'm gonna get the Jefferson County Health Department to come and talk about opioid addiction. And then if you have any suggestions, I would be more than happy, or if you know somebody that will come and talk to us, I will make sure that the community center is available. And we can get this information out. Okay, well, thank you and have a good night.